Hi everybody. So we're out in the shop and today I'm working on a 2006 Chevy Uplander minivan, and this vehicle was brought in because the owner said that he was hearing some noise coming from the rear axle, and when we put the van up on the lift, we noticed that the one rear wheel was sounded like it was hanging up, like the brake was dragging a little bit. So basically tore it apart, and what we found was that the caliper pins, both top caliper pins, were basically stuck in the bore. So here's the bottom caliper pin. It's the one that is just a regular straight metal pin, and you basically just clean these up, lube them, put them back in, and then they slide in and out as the brake operates. But this one up top, this one we actually took out and cleaned and re-lubricated, put back in, but it is really jammed in there. And this is about how it was getting it out the first time. And so what we found out that happened was on these on one of the caliper pins you have a little rubber, basically like a O-ring. So I'll pull the bottom one out. So you got one without it, just a straight metal pin, and then this one has rubber on one end. And if you look online, a lot of guys talk about, if they have trouble with these, they'll just take them off, not use them. But that rubber is there for a reason. It actually, the rubber acts to help stabilize the caliper when it's mounted on the caliper mount. And this little rubber acts as a bushing to help keep the caliper in the mount properly, and to avoid any rattling or noise that might occur if you didn't have this on there. So what ended up happening is whoever serviced this vehicle previously didn't use an approved grease to service these pins. It's kind of something that shows up every once in a while. And what you'll find is that if you don't use the right grease to lubricate these pins, this rubber ring will actually swell. And so because of that swelling, it makes it so difficult to install this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of anti-seize on here. So this is nice and clean. Now it's lubed, and this is the one that's bad. You'll see what it's like. Putting it in there, and you see it presses itself back out, which it's not supposed to do. Normally when you do this, you'll lube it up, you'll put it in, and you'll get it so far, and then all of a sudden you'll hear it, you'll hear the air that gets trapped behind the pin will come out, and then the pin will stay in. But this one's constantly trying to push itself back out. So let's pull that back off. And this is the O-ring, the bad O-ring from the other side. So let me get you a new one. And here's what the difference is. So it's not much. So you got the new one on the left and the old one on the right. And they're very, very close, but the new one is absolutely smaller than the old one is. So, set these aside. And now I've got the other pin that has the proper rubber ring on it. It's been cleaned and lubed already. And watch how this one goes in. I mean, just a piece of cake. Boot sets in. Doesn't slide back. It doesn't try to push itself back out. Very free moving, just like the bottom pin, which is, you know, basically it's exactly what you want. So, pretty cool. So in the case of this Uplander, what we did was we got a rear brake hardware kit. This one is from AutoZone. It's a Duralast. There's the part number. And this is for the 2006 Uplander. This is the front wheel drive model. So we got this kit, and basically the kit comes with all of your little hardware parts for the rear axle. So you've got a set of new brake pad mounting shims. These are the ones that go here on the caliper mount. It also comes with a new set of rubber boots. These ones aren't bad, but we'll be changing them out anyway since we got a set of new ones. And of course it comes with two new rubber O-rings that go on the caliper pins on either side. So just as a tip, if you run into this situation, you want to make sure that when you do reassemble these pins that you use the proper lubricant. So if you get little packs of these that come with your brake pads, these little Molly brake lube lubricant packs, don't throw these out, and make sure that you use this grease. Or you can always buy it in a larger tube. Here's one that we've had for a long time. Brake caliper synthetic grease. So it's a CRC product, Stay Lube, and this is a little bit older tube, but here's the model number if you want to look this up online. It's basically model number SL3301, and they still make this, even though this is a little older design graphics. They still make this, and of course you can always use a Permatex like this, just your regular old aluminum anti-seize lube. This is actually one of the highest rated temperature wise to use for brake caliper pins, because this one, this product is good up to 1600 degrees. Not that this rear brake's going to get that hot, but that's actually one of the reasons why a regular grease will fail in your caliper pins, is because of all the tremendous amount of heat that the brake generates when it stops the vehicle. Gets transferred, of course, into the caliper mount and then into the pin, and if it gets too hot, then it will damage the grease, causing it to fail. So in the case of this van, what we found, these black stains on this rag, this is the old lubricant, and I guess it's kind of hard to tell in the video, but this is very gritty and actually sticky. So if you get this in between your fingers and then touch them together, there's actually like a sticking that's going on. So it's this gunk buildup that happened inside the pin bore that caused them to basically to lock up. But at the same time, whatever grease this was that they used previously also caused those rings to swell and then jam the pin in the bore and cause the rear caliper to hang up. So keep that in mind if you see one of these come through your shop. So that's it. Pretty cool. Well, if you have any questions or any comments, post them below. And thanks for watching. And if you like my videos, please subscribe.